Techno Hollywood.
Berlin. This is the first Berlin to LA.
And I'm playing live guitar to intro song. So hello everyone, hold on. Putting the guitar away. This is the first remote. I almost tripped. Yeah, welcome. I'm here right now, obviously in Berlin. Yep. As you can see maybe in the background, you probably can't see it. It's all gray and it's all cold and it's miserable and it's still winter.
It lives up to the hype. It lives up to the hype. It's exactly what you said it was.
Yeah. I try to escape. I try to be like, okay, I'm not staying in Berlin for the winter. And I did, but I come back and it's snowing. It's a catastrophe. And everyone's like, oh, when is spring coming? So.
Well, you're not missing anything here. It's just 100% rain all day.
Yeah, but let's not talk about weather because I always say if people start to talk about weather, it's always it's a sign that the conversation is over. We can just all go home.
The podcast, we ended at 7. That's it. We're done.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's weather's boring, but what's not boring, I guess, the reason why I'm back in Berlin right now. Obviously, I want to finish some of the recordings that we done for Joplyn. So I'm here in my main studio right now, as you can see in the back. There's actually I'm very close. I live in Berlin Mitte, so it's in the center. But next to it, it's because you were asking what's that building over there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually the.
I could see it last time on our test, but it's not the. I can't see nothing right now.
So it's actually the BND, the Bundesnachrichtendienst, which means it's the German CIA. So it's basically
okay. So we should hang up now.
Yeah, exactly. So they're listening too, and it's
hello,
and it's
right.
Hello, wie geht's? And it's right in the center of Berlin, which is crazy because they used to be outside of Munich, and they moved here I don't know, a while ago now, and it's sort of crazy because people laugh it's probably the safest neighborhood because it's basically has a lot of police and stuff happening, or it's very monitored and secure. Yeah. But it's also probably unsafe.
In the US, in the US, a lot of neighborhoods will have police stations. That's not a good place to be.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Here, you kind of feel safe, but it's also if, God forbid, but if there's anything happening, this is probably one of the first targets that they're going to take down.
It's ground zero.
Yeah. So, but the other good thing is I have the fastest internet here probably in Berlin for sure.
Yeah.
If I tell everyone now, they're going to ring at my doorbell to upload stuff, which people do. So I have 1,000 Mbit download and 500 Mbit upload.
That's not even possible here. That's probably 10 grand a month or something.
Yeah, and that's possible because I'm close to the German
CIA. Or maybe you're actually just a spy. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, maybe.
You're
who knows?
a Time Lord. You don't age. You spy. You're a global citizen.
Not really.
This techno thing is just a cover.
It's just a cover up, this music thing.
Yeah. It's not a really thing.
Yeah, so back now in Berlin, I was it's good I haven't really told a lot of people because I wanted to be sort of focused and mix the records and do some final stuff. And because I have a studio here, I have some proper speakers here, some subs, so I just know how to judge the music better here. So that was the reason why I came back. And then, I'm already in the middle of packing, as we talked about yesterday, to go to Miami, right? Next week. And so the next
Miami Music
Week
podcast,
Miami Music Week, will probably be from Miami. Yeah? So I hope the background will be a little different then, a little bit more sunny.
It's just going to be a hotel room. It's probably going to look exactly the same.
No, yeah, but you'll probably have some sun and the beach in the back. So, so people don't know where I'm at. But the next one is from Berlin, from Miami. What was interesting, I came back and there's a few new things here, there are a few new restaurants that popped up. There's a new bar. If people come from the States to visit Berlin, there's a cool new spot. I think everyone's trying to be, as we talked about, the Soho House of everything, So it's it's a place where they're trying to do a membership. It has a fancy restaurant with sushi, but it has also a bar and a private club. It's called Telegraphenamt and Route. That seems to be the new hotspot right now in Berlin Mitte. Then I also was dragged along to to a bar which has been open now for the winter. It's the new bar called Georgia Bar. These are now like Berlin local tips, I guess. It's run by Frank, and a guy who used to have another legendary bar called King Size. So people that live in Berlin, they know it. It was a small place for wild parties. It was almost like an after party bar. Like people would come at 4 or 5 a.m. and stay till noon, on a weekend or something, So there was some legendary parties in a small space,
Is that why? Like, so you're saying this is new since you were there last time?
Yeah. But I mean, it's sort of started over Christmas, and I've been there only once. But I came back now, and then some of these hotspots in Berlin, they open, and then it's full, and then like the next time you go there, it's empty, it's done, and half a year later it closes. So a lot of people try, and it's very the city has so much to offer, so it's kind of hard to try a new bar, a new restaurant. And it's not about the first week and the opening, because everyone is going to go to a place once and check it out, and it's free open bar normally at some opening, But then later on, like, it's all about surviving. And so it was good to see like that some of the places I went to in December, I came back now in March to see, okay, they're still around. It's still happening. People are talking, hey, Mitte has some new things to offer, because Mitte used to be the place where it all went down, It was like 20 years ago, because it was
that's
right
where they
in
burn all the cars every year, right?
Yeah, sort of. That's the 1st of May demonstration.
Yeah,
but there was part of Mitte and Prenzlauer Berg, and mostly Kreuzberg though, where they go all crazy. Yeah.
So would that say every year they burn cars on May 1st?
They used to. I remember moving to Berlin 20 years ago, something, and then 1st of May, everyone said, "Hey, did you put your car away?" I'm like, "What? Why?" And then we were living right in Prenzlauer Berg, and then all of a sudden it just happened. Like people were jumping about cars. There was police trucks. There were like water. I don't know what the English word.
Fire hose.
Shooting water, a fire hose, yeah, and water just to get the rebels off the street, and it was like mayhem, really. Like, and people would throw Molotov cocktails and all this stuff, but all this stuff died down a little bit over the last year. But it used to be like you couldn't go out at night, and you had to save your car and drive it in a different neighborhood, because you knew it was going to get crashed. And there's a bus stop. All these things would just get broken, just vandalism, obviously.
Yeah. When I was there with you, it happened like 2005, 6. There was a May.
And there was a hot time still,
we saw some Porsches that were destroyed.
Yeah, they were burning. A friend of mine, famous story, he like he saw like in the news, like a day later, or a couple of days later, he's like, yeah, Prenzlberg, big things again. And then he saw a car in the national news burning, like a lot of stuff. And he's like, that kind of looks like a Porsche. And he's like, that kind of looks like my car. And then he walked out of his apartment, and his car was burned. Like, we're talking not a brand new one, but we're talking $100,000 car, and it was, thank God, I think it was covered by insurance or something. But it was his car was.
Did he take the box for May 6th, May 1st insurance? He's like, what are the chances? We don't need that.
No, but thank God he had insurance. But that's the things that used to happen here. Yeah, but it's
Germans like insurance, now. Right?
Yeah, it's a very. I think they had a statistic. Every German is like double overinsured for sure. So yeah. And then
safety.
And then last week, what else? So I got back here, but then also I got invited to a concert. You know of this band? I think they're from Australia, the Teskey Brothers.
No,
have you heard of them? They sing like blues pop rock in a way, like two brothers. One is a singer, one a guitar player. And I went to a show. I thought it'd be a small thing. Then I went there. It's like 5,000-6,000 people in a pretty big venue, and it's all live, like real musicians, real humans, just basically people like what a concept, right? I mean, like the old school way, right? And just creating music, and you could see people like really dreaming away, drifting away, and it was sold out. And it was almost like a very relaxed, chill music, not rock. I would say it's more like blues folky type of thing. But it was astonishing to see, like, after all this dance and race, like there's still obviously bands that play music, that interact. It's live backup singers, brass sections, like 6-8 people on stage, and just having fun and creating magic, so it was good to see, like as almost like a reminder, hey, this
there's some joy. Yeah, you get to see the joy again. And
the people love they love seeing the joy on stage and everything. So that was good. So what was your last week? Anything like comedy wise, just mayhem, or what happened?
I mean, for me, the family got COVID, so I've just been dealing with that and on trying to take care of them. Somehow I didn't get it, which is amazing, but
good.
So when you're trying to isolate, but you can't really isolate when you have a family, so you try to do your best.
Okay. But there was no comic. You didn't do a comedy bunker.
No, there's one coming up.
How did the last comedy bunker actually go?
It went really good. It was sold out. Morgan J closed it out. I totally thought you were going to come to that one, but I guess we missed the schedule was off.
Yeah, that was the day I flew out.
Yeah. But it was great. He had some great clips from it, and he started doing this man on the street stuff after, where he would like interview people after outside the club, and that was super funny. Okay. So we're going to pitch him to move it to the bigger room. So that's going to be our next project, is to be like, all right, I think we've been selling out the small room for like the last for this whole year. Let's move it to the big room now and see if we can really move some tickets. So it's going to be more pressure, but it's going to be a lot more, you can get better names who won't. So a lot of names now won't do the small room. I feel like every week someone's like, nah, I don't do that anymore. I'm like, okay. And so we'll have a better show, more people, and it'll just be kind of like next leveling it. So
yeah, I mean, it's
they don't know about this yet, so I'm going to be meeting with them next week.
Yeah, they'll find out. Yeah, but the thing is, that's the thing, like with in the music thing, like you want to keep building, and then you have to take a risk to see, like, okay, let's try to sell out sell more tickets than you used to, and then you have to have more pressure on, but then that's how you grow, and then you gotta hit up more people and then hope that the people that go there have a good experience, and then tell their friends and bring their friends next time. That's like building, right? I mean, I just came across this funny, not funny, but interesting quote. Like, I don't know if we talked about like Scooter Braun, the big superstar manager, right? He said like, he gets hit up a lot of times from like new artists. They're like, hey, please manage me, please do this, but sign me, because they think it's a fast ticket to stardom or to everything. But I think he said like, it's very good, like the way he grew up, like you got to find people on your level almost, like, and find them, connect with them, and then grow together. That's what he did. Like he's still working with the same people that he used to work 10, 15 years ago. They're just everyone's on a higher level now. And that's why you don't find you find the Scooter Braun, which is from your generation and from your level in a way, and then you grow up together. I think that's a good saying, because then you can grow together and you build something together. Yeah.
Look at Benji with Mac and Wiz.
Yeah.
Same thing. Exactly. It's like you grow together. And then there's a trust and a bond, and like you're really, because there's no waving the wand. You can sign to the biggest manager or the biggest label. It doesn't mean anything. It just, and especially now, you have to put in all the work yourself anyway. So, your phone's gonna ring off the hook, kind of like with you and Joplyn. Yeah. When the time is right, you're getting all the calls from the CAAs and the agents trying to be like, hey, what's going on? There's something here. Mm-hmm. And so when the time is right, your phone will ring.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's better to not go for the quick solution, just to find your team and to build together and grow up together. I think that's the only real. And at some point, of course, like you can't, the bigger people will reach out, and then they would open up doors for you. Like I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah. And then you got to be ready, like we talked about, to walk through that door. So you got to, get your moment, and then you walk through and you got to deliver.
Yeah, and that's what. And then also, like, I had this meeting. I mean, I've only been here back for a week, but it's still, of course, a few people that sort of were interested to meet up and just talk about like what I experienced in the States, and how the Joplyn project is going, and how everything's starting. And I mean, it all boils down to a little bit of, again, like I had this meeting with this really big manager who manages like techno, like real techno, like hard techno artists. And he was also saying like, it's interesting that now for him, like his artist she's really big in Europe, but also in the US now, they sold out 4,000 or 5,000 tickets in New York and 5,000 tickets in LA,
Wow.
And that also that shows you that there's a real underground counterculture movement also in the States. There's enough people now there who listen. And we're talking about, this is techno. I think we're going to start this playlist soon where we actually
yes.
Do the showcase the music that we talk about, so people can get a little better feel of the music we talk about. It's going to be mostly electronic, but there's a big range, right, from more deep stuff, melodic stuff, but also to hard techno. So this artist Amelie Lenz, it's amazing how she can build like a community and then transfer the community and make it a global movement, And also they just signed also with a bigger. They just signed with CAA too, and because it's getting to that stage where it's like you need like big agents, big productions, big things to grow it even bigger, And but she also has over 1 million followers and everything, so she's the real deal, And she's built it up very humble and small in the very beginning. And he was there from the very top, So it's really interesting to sort of exchange ideas and strategies how to build community in the music, and to lead with the music, of course, but also see how you can leverage your like social media and your direct connections with your fans.
Yeah. I mean, it's what we're doing right now with our podcast. Is we're building an audience every week. We're like, all right, the views are going up, more people subscribing, more people following the Instagram. But it's a grind to build that audience and to find them and constantly be promoting. Always be ABP, always be promoting.
Always be promoting, yeah. But also you don't want to spam the people, right? And get on the nerves. So it's a thin line you got to walk, I guess.
Yeah. But also it's like, I don't know, people get so, this isn't the old days where like you're blowing up one person's email box. Like people are being spammed 24/7. Like if you think you could even penetrate to be that annoying, you're crazy.
I know, yeah. I know, yeah, because there's like 10,000 of advertising messages I think we get every day. Yeah. Some stupid statistic, right? It's crazy, yeah.
And we're constantly it's not linear anyway. It's like the platforms are going to decide where your message goes. So you just got to hope for the best.
Yeah, so I got my fancy in-ears right now, but they're sort of hurting in the back, so I got to adjust them here.
Yeah. And we just discovered that Facebook Reels is actually so important too. To post separately on Facebook Reels has a big audience. So that's been growing our Facebook page.
Yeah. Facebook Reels, because a lot of people still use Facebook, especially I feel like in Asia, like Facebook has still relevance, but not so much the normal page, or not the pages, because they're very limited, but I think the Reels are really...
The pages are big now. So if you post, I've been posting the Reels to our page. Yeah. And it's been doing well. And because before Instagram would say, hey, do you want to post to Facebook too? And I'd just click yes. But now I also upload it separately, and it does better when you do it separately.
Okay. Yeah,
there's all these stupid tricks. I feel like these tricks, like nothing just works. You got to it's like being in the studio when you buy gear. You buy a bunch of gear and you're like, all right, the MPC you buy it, it has no samples in it. You're like, okay.
What do I do?
That's what happened. My first gear, I bought an MPC 2000 and it had, then it's empty. You're like, I have nothing.
And nowadays you can buy everything pre-programmed with finished loops that you can use and everything. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. So,
just wait till my Fruity Loops beats start coming in.
Yeah.
Or FL Studio. We don't want to be Fruity Loops. We want to be FL Studio.
Okay. And then also like talking to this techno manager, I call him Marcus, shout out. Basically, he also had this funny, this interesting theory or thesis. Like he said, like techno, a lot of times, because it's so hard, different, it's like metal music. It's basically people discover it as a way to rebel against their parents. And so it's like basically metal. Like metal. Yeah. You start with like 14, 15, and then then it's over after like sort of high school, you start to study, and your real life begins, whatever. In 22,
then you get into Beethoven and Bach, and then you start to settle down.
Exactly. And
you play the violin.
Some cheesy classic. Yeah. No, so basically he said like, it's interesting. So it's basically constantly finding the new young audience that's gonna rebel against the establishment in a way, like punk, like metal, like techno, and then growing with them, but then keeping them and finding, because then after a while they're not gonna go to the raves anymore. They're gonna live a normal life, and then and you lose that audience. So it's much more. I feel like there's a new movement, like, not new, but there's things right now in Berlin that you hear about, like all this happy hardcore, really fast 150, 160 BPM beats per minute. That's like that reminds me of like the 90s, where it was like really fast, happy techno stuff, and that's all coming back. So it's like the 90s all coming back
like
again.
LSDJ, like that.
Yeah, in a way, but LSDJ is the commercial version of it. Okay. But there used to be like some harder stuff back then, and it's all come back. It's a new generation that discovers it now. It's like, I guess it's like there's a thing called, I don't know if you heard about this, a thing called Phonk. Phonk, and it's basically a new. This also for the playlist. It's basically dance music, and you would probably categorize it as techno or like housing. It's kind of fast. It also takes in samples, a little darker, and there's people, and it's for some reason it's out of Russia mainly, or like Eastern Europe. These are the big
they got some rebelling to do.
Exactly, yeah. And that stuff, like you go on Spotify, and some of the stuff has like 20, 30 million streams, which is quite a lot for that genre. Yeah. And it's like artists that have no other really visibility. Like it's like producer projects. It's like it's a name and a logo. Like no one knows how they look like nothing. And it's basically doing really well. And apparently there's some labels already that keep signing this funk music. And I have no idea, because funk for me is something different than funk always. So it has to be something to do with it. I have no idea why it's called that, but it's like weird, almost like cheaply produced, put together stuff that really resonates with a lot of people, like apparently. So
yeah, I mean,
it's always like, something new.
Yeah, low end or like lo-fi or not trying has some appeal.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's just loud, hard, and some of the stuff is funny in a way, like major chords even. So it's like I'm trying to understand it still. A producer told me about it. I'm like, what? And then we listened to it. And I'm like, okay, wow, never heard of it, and it's happening. Yeah. So, and then I keep now that you're gonna hear, like you're gonna see news like, okay, this label signed a new funk artist, this and that,
Yeah.
So talk about funk. I just finished playing some guitars.
Put some funk songs on our thing. On our playlist.
That's what I mean. Like we're gonna put some funk on the playlist just to see, like, so people
to funk it up,
get a feel, to funk it up. So I just funked it up too. Like I just finished playing some guitars for my dear friend Purple Disco Machine. So he's working on some new stuff, and he just sent me some instrumentals of some of the songs I finished, just to add some funk. So, but some old school funk, now Roger's guitar funk too.
Nice, I like it.
So it's always fun to put out my guitar again and to
jam.
Play. So I literally just to jam.
Put the laptop down. Let's get a guitar. I just realized, look, we're perfectly yin and yang. You're black shirt, I'm white shirt. I'm black background, you're white background. Glasses, no glasses.
Oh my
beard,
god.
No beard. Hat, no hat. Headphones, in ears.
And wow, it's the duality.
Chain, no chain.
Because everything
button, zip.
Wow, guy, very cool, guy. No, and this is all subconscious. We just did this without even trying.
Random. Yeah.
It's pretty random.
This is the new logo. What do you say to, like? Because I don't know if you looked at the comments, and this is a historical saying. So, like when people are like techno sucks. Like someone wrote in our comments, like, techno sucks, but I'm here.
That's funny.
And there's an Eminem song where it's like, nobody listens to techno. When he's making fun of Moby.
I know, but
So why is that still around that people say techno sucks? Is it like disco sucks? Dance music sucks? Like, where is that?
I guess, techno for that just stands for something which I probably don't understand culturally, and the music is so different. And it's probably that hard kick that just goes forward to the floor. I think that's sort of. I think people like. I remember this when I used to listen. Was hard, really deep into like R&B, hip hop, whatever. Anything that would be too fast and too straight, I would be like, this is not music,
no
whatever. So it's no good. So I think it's because that's what we just talked about. Like techno is probably and then like dubstep with Skrillex. It's one of the last music that has a little bit of a rebellious feel, a counterculture feel to it. And I think people don't understand it, so they diss it, So and it's almost like a cliche. I mean, that's why, for obvious, that's why we also called our podcast Techno Hollywood, to play with that cliche and with that word, because it's sort of, it has a feeling and a ring to it.
It's still polarizing in a way. Same way,
exactly.
Like country is still polarizing too. When people like country, it's just like, if you don't, I mean, I don't get country, so it's like someone's like, let's go to.
But even country.
Like, I mean, Taylor Swift. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's pop. I'm talking. I just saw, like, Diplo as Thomas Wesley. That's his real name. I think he's now doing he did already like a country album a couple years ago. He played at the country Coachella, and he's doing another country thing. So, but he's just basically flipping the country thing and adding 808 beats to it and making it more hip and cool, and even has a black rapper featured on a white country type of song, And I think that's what it is about, like, to basically combine new things and remix things, and there's nothing really new under the sun. So it's all about like combining the different elements and trying out different combinations and see if they work, I feel.
Yeah.
So that's why.
And I remember when rap was really taken off, a lot of people were resistant to it and be like, rap sucks. Like, it's all about, when rock was still, especially in Canada, where it's like, it's like rock land. It's like, rap sucks. Like, you suck for liking. Yeah. You suck for I mean, way before 604. This is like, what's that station? The Fox 93. I don't know, whatever. But it was just like, it was only rock. It was like rock. And then rap would like sneak in through like some pop song. MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice. And you're like, yeah. Young MC was my first rap tape.
Yeah, Young MC was dope.
Yeah.
What was the hit song again? I forgot. Something with
Can't Stop the Bum Rush? What? No, that's something else.
No. We're so bad with our hip hop.
I mean, Young MC comes in and then is like immediately replaced by like actual hip hop. Once you get a taste for it, you're like, all right, that's enough. You never go back to Young MC. You're like, let's pull that out. Like, you never make a mixtape and like you're like Jay-Z, Biggie, Young MC. No, it's gone.
No, it's not. It's gone.
Well, different eras, but.
So and then what else happened this week? So I always try to combine doing music and at night, of course, go visit hang out with some friends and also see a show and stuff. So I went to a show in a way which it's funny because it was my own show and it wasn't, because I don't know if we talked about this, but the last 2-3 years I did a project called Verboten Berlin. Verboten means forbidden.
Okay, it's like pretty obvious. Yeah,
it's pretty. Yeah, but it's a German word. And Verboten, and there was also a club in New York called Verboten. So we just figured that name was pretty cool. We wanted to call it Verboten, but then Verboten was taken already on Spotify. So we just added Berlin since we're from Berlin.
You call it Verboten's Verboten.
What do you mean, Verboten?
Because you're verboten from verbotening.
So okay, yeah. Okay. So anyway, Verboten Berlin played a show here in Berlin, and I used to be part of that project. I still sort of am, but more in the background. But we used to write and produce this project together. We had a record deal with a major label, with Universal Germany, Vertigo, and we also like released 10 or 12 songs or 15 songs, and this was all right before the pandemic. And we had this great momentum. Our social media was growing. We sort of had like these musical clips on Instagram, and we also found out that those were the ones that worked the best. So if I talk to new musicians, I was like, find the thing you really like and you're good at for social media, and then just do more of that and try to excel at that. And since we didn't want to do like some bikini pictures of us,
I mean, anything's possible.
So there's where we said,
once we lose the rest fat.
Once I lose the rest fat, hashtag.
What did you think about my German font?
It was really good. Yeah,
not too German.
I liked not too German, but it was you could feel it, you could see it, like it hit, like. So anyway, so we basically started doing some studio videos, while we were just jamming and like documenting the process, like it's all about like really documenting the process and showing the people what you're about as an artist. And one of that studio video just went crazy viral. Like I think it almost ended up like now and after all, like we had almost like 1 million views. It's crazy. Like, and it was just basically us jamming with a little of a dance, or him singing, I'm turning some knobs and synths and stuff. So it was really, and this is sort of how we were able to get a following on social media, on Instagram. And then the first booking agents called and then reached out, the same thing. So it was through, but we even had a record deal, but the record company also didn't like, in this genre, it's hard to market because it has to be more pull. You can't push it down people's.
It's almost like you have distro in a way. It's not like they're giving you a lot of support.
Yeah, so you have
there's no meetings like, hey, what are we doing? There's no expenses.
And then
we're not taking you to lunch.
Yeah, and after it sort of worked, then it makes sense to shoot up, like test out some. So we used like social media almost like an A&R tool. We recorded 4 or 5 jams, saw which one worked the best, finished that song, and then basically then added some, maybe did a music video and did a little bit of marketing on it, So that was interesting. So I went to the show, but due to various reasons musically, but also like because I'm focusing more on the Joplyn project and everything. Basically a year ago, we like very amicably we decided to split, and that I'm out of the project now. I'm not on stage, and also like what really messed with us was the pandemic. We just did the first great shows. We played in Italy, we played somewhere in Poland, and everything. And then all of a sudden, the pandemic hit, and the whole momentum was gone. I think that was kind of sad for us because this was not planned. But I mean, he kept on going then and releasing music and trying to make the best of it, like every artist. But that was definitely something like that was a negative of the pandemic, because it sort of killed the momentum of a lot of newcomer projects, not only ours,
life.
I think, of life, of everything.
Yeah. And now it's whatever.
So, but anyways, he's finally played on the show, and it's growing again, and we're still working together in the background. Like, we still have a few songs that we want to get out that I was part of. It was interesting to see, like, because he's now alone on stage, he's doing it all himself, singing and performing but it was good. I was hanging out with some friends, and he played with another artist called Felix Raphael, also a cool singer and producer and sort of electronic live act. So yeah, so that was a fun thing to see, but also like people like, hey, why you're not on stage? I'm like, yeah, like it's
like when they call it's like the Eagles and they reunite or whatever. It's like, he's back. He's part of the group.
I'm part of the group, but it was interesting to see.
Then you have a big fallout on stage. You smash your guitar. Everyone leaves. Everyone's crying. They start burning stuff.
Yeah, that would have been fun, but no, that was a good moment for me to sort of see it and sort of be like, okay, it's moved on now. These projects move on, it's good. So, but
I wanted to start a pandemic band. That's why I got that guitar that's in our shoot. Yeah. And me and Joe Cruz is going to play bass. I was going to learn how to play guitar, and we ended up doing nothing. But
yeah, but. I mean, it's tough to learn an instrument after a certain age. It's not impossible, but you got to really dedicate every day to it. Like, it's like everything. You got to do the small step, and you got to do the reps, so to say, right? To excel.
I was playing on Fender.com, had some lessons, and it was pretty good. I was getting the basics, and then, but it's just like
all these programs are good now.
It's a whole second life.
And then you have these crazy kids that just pick up a guitar, learn everything through YouTube, and then like a year later they're like fantastic technically. It doesn't mean they know musically what to do, to how to write a song and how to connect and how to sort of portray emotions to an audience, but technically they're just Wunderkinder,
Yeah, my son goes on YouTube and he finds like piano songs, and he plays the entire Formula One theme song with 2 hands. And then he goes to his first piano lesson, and they're like, "These are quarter notes." And then I was like, "Play him the song." And the guy's like, "Oh wow, okay, this is not." He's like, "I don't need to." He was doing like, bah, 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 and he's like, da, 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 and he's like, he played like a 5-minute score with 2 hands, and you're like, "Oh, how do you learn that?" I was like, "Oh, YouTube."
Yeah, exactly. So how did you know this? Yeah, YouTube. So but we need to talk then. In a couple of years, we should look at the potential and see.
You're like, get rid of that guitar. Here, you slip him a CD DJ. You're like, this is the future.
Exactly. Yeah. So but you still need to learn how to produce. I think
he's gonna do something in music. He's got the thing.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to know. It's so obviously we can open some doors there, But I think like everything, you can only open doors. Mm-hmm. Everyone has to walk through them themselves. It's almost like sometimes if you have music parents, like it helps and it doesn't in a way, right?
Because, we worked with a few people who have music parents, and it's not always a gift.
Yeah, because. Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah,
that's what people on this podcast want to hear: more nepotism, more giving opportunities to family members. But there's a lot of famous sons of musicians that are around LA, and not a lot of them are actually musicians themselves, but they're in the mix, Now,
I mean, I got the chance to meet two of Sting's kids. What was the name? The older kid. I mean, he was really. I mean, Sting is really old now, but I mean, he was basically also playing bass, and which is very similar, and trying to do music, and it was such. It's like with I guess with a lot of people with like John Lennon's son, or like all these high profile music, like you're bound to fail because you're always gonna get sort of. Compared to your famous daddy or famous mom, And then also met his other daughter, but she was more like she was also a singer. I think she recorded a few. Forgot her name too. Like she had a different artist name, but now in the end she ended up being like a more like techno DJ because that's something totally different. And that's
more embracing. It's kind of that's more fun. It's like, oh look, exactly.
Yeah, so it's like, okay. So she's like a techno DJ now. I think her name was Val as a techno DJ. And that's interesting because then it's like you don't have the stigma of singing and writing. Like you have the fame of your father, but you can just do it and put that thing into a different scenario in a way. Yeah?
Music is the snobbiest of all the arts. Like it's just like the second, like you're like, oh, you used to be an actor, get out of here. Oh, what? Like, oh, you're doing something else? No, you suck. Oh, what? You looked weird one day? No, you're out. It's just like this. The snobby. Oh, you're the son of someone's famous. You can't. We don't care. You're not. No chance.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's why it was also very clever. I think about like Paul McCartney's daughter, right? Stella McCartney. It was so clever to. I mean, obviously that's her passion, I guess. Like she went into fashion because then there's no discussion about it. Like she can use daddy's clout and his connections and the name, but she's in a totally different field, and then he can rock up, sit there, bring his friends. It's a whole thing. And her fashion is actually pretty cool. And that's why I think that's one of the rare examples where like a famous,
Jaden Smith.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Jaden Smith did his thing musically and is established himself like, as being a sort of a serious artist, which is very versatile and almost like actor
Sofia Coppola?
And also eclectic. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So there's a couple.
So there are a few. There's a couple few, but there's also a lot of them like where it didn't work out.
Did you watch the Oscars? It was a big Asian night.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I saw the post later, and I didn't know that the one guy was actually Vietnamese.
Yeah,
so I think he's like Vietnamese, the first Vietnamese American.
Yes, short round.
Indiana Jones. Yeah, Indiana Jones. Like, and he cleaned up. Then Michelle Yeoh, and that whole movie did really well, right? Everything. Everywhere All at Once. Right?
But the Everywhere All at Once director has said something really related to this. They're like, hey, to my family or kids or whatever, like, this is super rare. He's like, I never thought I would get this. Don't like hold this up as something. This is not the standard. This is just a fluke. He's like, whatever you do, you'll be great. I'm like, that's what it should be. Yeah. Cause it is kind of a fluke. It's like, you can try your hardest. Like even Steven Spielberg is there losing. Like that's so you're like, how much of a fluke or what do you need?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's I understand what he's saying, but also like, to basically, it's almost like shitting on the dreams again in a way, because you want to have that almost like impossible moment, the American dream there, and to shine, and to that to be an inspiration. And of course, there's only one number one. And it's basically it's always going to be hard to basically achieve that. But I think it was overall, like from what I could tell, like it was inspirational, obviously.
Yeah.
Everything.
Oh, the
but
short. I was like tearing up during the short round speech.
Yeah.
The Vietnamese guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like
he was. I mean, he really, was crying and tearing.
Yeah. Well, to take that long of a break and then to come back so many years later and actually win. But this was just like, I mean, we talked about how Rihanna in the Super Bowl was so good, and this Oscars was great. I enjoyed it. They gave out technical awards again.
You watched
finally.
the full thing.
I watched the full. I got YouTube TV just to watch it, and they're like, oh, they give best sound because they got rid of all those categories for a while, and they were doing basically like just like a perform. It turned into the Grammys. It felt like lots of singing.
Okay, yeah.
And now it was like best editing, and they were really like focused on the details again. No,
it's
great host. I forgot his name.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah,
See,
he was great.
Forgot. Yeah, he's cool. And then, I mean,
you should have watched it.
Too bad. Next
you don't
year,
even
hopefully,
Asian night, and you don't support.
I know. I didn't.
That's
support
very Asian, actually.
I guess, yeah. I know, but I saw some some cool things after because there's always this crazy after party. Everyone goes to like the studio, throws a party, but then there's one party that some friend just told me about. It's called The Party, and it's basically by Madonna and her manager Guy Oseary, and they throw a party. I think it's at Guy's at some mansion house. I don't know if it's their own house. I guess
that's cool.
And it's basically and it's called the Party. And everyone not everyone, but it's like the hardest place to get into, obviously, because it's like
it's hard to get into the party.
I know it's hard to get to, and there's apparently no agents allowed, no managers, so it's really only talent, which sort of makes the party very cool, I guess, because then you keep out the business. There's no standing around. It's like really the talent, the artists letting loose, So. Okay, that's
except for him.
Like, I'm putting it out there now.
He's the manager. He's the only manager allowed.
Yeah. He's the only manager allowed. But he's
what a great
party,
management tactic. I'm going to throw the best party in town, and I'm not going to allow anyone to come.
There's no other managers. And it's like, who threw the party? Yeah, this guy. Okay, yeah, I guess he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, why are they all signed to Guy Oseary now? Everyone gets a call in the morning.
No, but.
I guess now that people talk with the phone like this, like instead of miming, like, hey, phone. This is
they
phone.
talk like this, which is so stupid. I never talk like this.
I do.
I don't like people that walk around and talk like this.
Because I don't want the radiation on my head.
Yeah, as if the 10 centimeters is going to make a change.
My head gets hot. Do you feel it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I feel it too. That's why you have in-ears or like speakerphones.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't have them and you don't want to.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So anyways, I'm putting out there next year, we want to be at the party after the Oscars.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm sending
new segment. Guy, if you can hear us.
New segment goals.
Yeah, goals. Yeah, exactly. Hollywood goals.
Hollywood goals. I like that. Hollywood goals.
New segment, Hollywood goals. And just to be at some stupid party and then just to tell everyone about it, that it probably wasn't that exciting. But who knows? That party looked and sounded exciting. Because it's like it's a very different mix, and of course Diplo was DJing or something again. Like he's everywhere.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I guess you could be talent. They would from the podcast, and you're also talent. You're talent and management, so you just go under talent one night.
I'm still a music producer and a songwriter. Don't forget,
Yeah.
I just posted a clip of me playing guitar on Instagram.
Just bring your Gemma royalty sheet. Be like, let me in.
Let me in. I make money writing songs sometimes. So here's a
Yeah, we need to let's list out our Hollywood goals because that's a fun one to report back on.
Yeah,
or even it's even fun if we get kicked out or not allowed.
Yeah, next week we're gonna list some Hollywood goals, and then also like let's try a Germenglish one. I have one. I don't know if it's politically correct or not, but in Germany there's a saying like if a guy totally sucks up to like some girls and just tries to be super understanding and like I fully understand what you're saying and he's almost like creepy, but it's called frauenversteher. and frauenversteher, which means basically if you translate it literally, it would be womanunderstander. So yeah, that's a German English one. Yeah, so it's like breastfed, womanunderstander. So it's almost like if guys talk to each other and they're like, this guy again, he's a frauenversteher, he's like the horse whisperer, like he's a woman's whisperer.
So he just sits around and being like, oh yeah, I'm understand. Like he's like the friend you get.
Man, he's saying yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're so right. Yeah, but he's trying to sneak in there.
Of course, he's trying to sneak in there, but that's why he's the womanunderstander.
But Frau means woman or wife.
Yeah. No, woman means Frau.
Okay, what's wife?
But Frau in Germany could mean woman and wife.
Right. So it's extra scandalous there. If he's the wife understander.
Yeah. He's a wife understander, but it's more like a woman understander. Yeah.
So like in Germany, it's more woman. It's not wife understander.
No, yeah, it's woman understander. Okay. Yeah, it's not wife understander. It has nothing to do with the wife. It's more like he understands the females, the girls.
Yeah, but is he the type of guy that wins and people don't like him because that works? Or he just like fails and they're like, what a loser?
Yes, could be sometimes. No, sometimes he's probably wins because he's sneaking up and trying to be like, and then other guys are like almost jealous. But sometimes it's like so obvious that the guy, everyone
makes you want to vomit. It's just like gross.
At the person. Yeah. Exactly. It's like cringy almost.
Yeah, cringy.
Yeah.
What if he?
That's your.
Is there like
Jim
the
English
reverse
word for the week?
Say it one more time.
Let me think. Frauenversteher.
Frauenversteher.
Frauen and then Versteher. Like
Frauenversteher.
Verstehen means to understand. Yeah, good. Not bad.
Frauenversteher. Not bad.
Yeah. But you should use woman understander now because you're going to use restfed. You're going to use woman understander. Like these
that'll be
these
the
are words that we're
hashtag
trying to
woman.
establish in the US. Yeah. So we're establishing new words in the US now.
Well, when I was
German
editing
English
the clip for rest fat, I kept making me feel my rest fat. I started cutting down on it. So in the last 2 days, I cut out some sugar. Yeah. So maybe by doing this, I'll be a better woman understander.
Exactly. And we talked about Hüftgold, right? That was a German English word.
Yeah.
Hüftgold, yeah, good. So see, we have 3 now.
Yeah, these would be good segments.
Yeah, these are fun segments, Yeah, so...
any hot moments where you're like, what?
No, not really this week. No hot moments that I can recall right now. Any hot moments in... We also want to do like some crazy LA Hollywood extravaganza moments, right? Something like if you saw like a... I mean, for me, like one of the moments or Hollywood extravaganza is when I came back here to Germany. Like I just thought like, okay, there's a place... Like you go to a normal coffee spot, there's like a plain croissant. It's like $5, $6, which is already still crazy because in Germany, there's still like 1 or 2 euros, which is $1 or $2. But we went to one place, and I keep telling the story here in Berlin, where it was really $12. So and that's crazy to be.
Was it like gluten free?
I guess, yeah. For me, it was gluten-free, $12.
Yeah, because there's the one by my place. It's a gluten-free croissant bakery, and they're like $10, $12.
Yeah,
like,
plus
what?
tip and tax type of thing, like, and you end up with $12, and it's like, that's great, but it's almost like that's supply and demand, I guess. If someone is willing to pay that
place
much money,
is going under. There's no way.
Yeah,
I just go by them every day, and I'm like,
but
thumbs down.
I think thumbs down, yeah. But I think like people, obviously, if there's a place that charges $12 for a plain croissant, there must be someone that buys it, like. And that's capitalism for you.
Yeah, but capitalism was also a failure, so they might go out of business and be like, "What happened to that place? The croissants were $12. It's too much, too much."
So we'll see. I think, but that's a Hollywood extravaganza for sure. Like you could never sell a croissant in Berlin for.
But what's like high end? Like, what's something in Berlin that's like that high price that you would never go spend in LA? There must be things.
No, I mean, that's one of the that's the
best German answer. No, we're very reasonable. We're very correct. Everything is the appropriate price is always
exactly.
I remember here's something. I remember being in Berlin and my belt broke and I had to go into a place and buy a belt and it was like €100.
Really?
For a belt, or like €89. It was like a lot. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I guess we were in Mitte. We went to some cool
I think we went to Hugo Boss or something.
Yeah, but I think you can get a cheaper belt. I don't know. I haven't bought belts in a while. But I think it's very reasonable price. And that's why it's one of the reasons people move here still, because it's not ridiculously priced yet. And it's still a big city. It's still a capital. It's still rocking out. And everyone's sort of looking forward to spring again, you know? So that's why... That's also now we see it's almost at the end now because we're talking about weather again.
Oh no! We'll have to, you're giving me a lot of editing to do on this first, but I'm feeling like this is a vibe. It's working. Like we're
I think it's you got to get used to it. It's not the same than being in a room, but I feel like
halfway through we started to feel like it was working. I started to like melt into the screen, you know, and be like, oh, he's here.
Yeah, and I also I realized I can make your screen bigger than mine, so it's more like a Zoom thing now. Yeah.
How do you do that?
You just click on the top right. There's a thing. Anyways, so my.
Then it looks at you more. That's nice.
So that's better. That's
better. But now I see so much of your office. I see like your little like shrine.
Yeah, there's
some guy with a medal.
African bongo.
Is that you? Or is that Craig Smart?
No, that's me. That's actually from my little Grammy nomination, but I'll talk about that the next time, I guess.
Save it for a different episode. Oh, now I see the CIA.
Yeah, exactly. Now the quality is better, right? For some reason.
The sun went down.
Okay, that's why.
And then you can see that exciting gray building.
Exactly, with the spying on us.
So when are you coming back to LA though? That's the.
Yeah, and then I think next week is Miami. Then still have to do some stuff. There's some shows in Europe, but ideally...
So Miami, then back to Europe?
Back to Europe, and then ideally... I think the next one's going to be more remote, but hopefully in May or something.
Nice.
We'll see. People will see if we do the podcast in one room again. That means I'm back in LA. So I can't hide.
Maybe there'll be a demand. Like they'll be like, we hate techno and get back in the same room.
Exactly, yeah. It's more vibe. Yeah. It's cool. Yeah.
But I think we've been doing well, and I'm super excited about the podcast and what we've been building so far. And we really appreciate all the listeners who've been supporting, liking. But keep it up. Tell a friend. We're here for you.
Yes,
connecting with you.
We're even in some charts, right? Someone sent us in Germany.
German charts, Switzerland charts, all the...
top 50 or top 60 in the Apple Apple podcast charts or something.
Now we just got to break through in the in the US charts.
Step by step.
US charts, Canada charts, Moroccan charts. Do they have podcasts there? I don't know.
But we basically just do it to entertain us and exchange stories because we're just
there are stories from the week, and we have the segments and editing the clips and putting it out, and we appreciate you sitting here through this Zoom episode. Or not Zoom, it's Riverside. Yes. Plug Riverside.
Yeah. Sponsor us.
I think they do sponsor a lot of pods. So, okay, well, follow us at Techno Hollywood Pod on Instagram.
Yeah. Follow
Chi Thanh Berlin. Follow Latif Tayor. And 5-star review if you're on Apple. 5-star review if you're on Spotify. Those are our primary platforms. And we love you.
We'll see you next week.
Tschüssi.